Good afternoon. We are going to read the Blobs Attack the Glitchies, Volume 2. I think we are on... Where the heck we at? Nope. Yeah, Chapter 6. We're on Chapter 6. Buried, I think it's called. And that's what the little cartoon's on there. And I forgot to show you guys the cartoon. I think that was in Chapter 5 of Goose Bob Weldon. And I think I will be trying to give Zelma a flower, you know. I forgot to show you guys that. I know you guys don't like to hear me. See how long this chapter's going to take. Holy crap. Please do not tell me. Jesus, Justin. No, okay. Alright, okay, sweet, okay. Chapter 6, Buried. Dust filled the air as Chubbs groaned and stood up, brushing dirt off his overalls and coffin. He squinted upward, trying to make sense of how the ground had given way beneath him. Somehow he was at the bottom of a large hole, at least 20 feet deep. With a shaky hand, he adjusted his glasses and took in his surroundings. What happened? The walls were pure dirt, crumbly brown, but it was okay. Chubbs could hardly see his own hand in front of his face. Lobster screen at a jump expression and emitted a subtle humming, trying to reboot from the fall. The little plant Bob's screen flickered as Chubbs shook it gently. Lobster wake up. The screen buzzed to life, and two tiny 8-bit eyes blinked back at him. Lumiere on, Chubbs commanded. A small light popped on above the screen, bathing the hole in a soft glow. Now able to see more clearly, Chubbs used the plant bot to scan their surroundings. Dirt walls, more dirt walls, and then a tunnel. It wasn't a tunnel that was much obvious. The tunnel's ceiling, walls, and floor were constructed of a metallic substance. A thin silver arc gleamed in Lobster's light, revealing the entrance. Chubbs shrouded like a slug on a leaf during a frosty garden morning as one of his eyes twitched. Surely we can climb out of here, right? Chubbs said, his voice cracking as he tried to scramble up the dirt wall. His fingers crawled out of the loose earth, but the wall crumbled beneath him like a stale cake. Dirt rained down on his face, filling his mouth and his eyes. He slid back down with a grunt, coughing and spitting. Okay, maybe not. Hugging Lobster tightly, he stood up and stepped toward the tunnel, his boots crunching on the dirt. His heartbeat quickened with every step. Okay, buddy, he whispered to Lobster. Let's just take a quick pic. No big deal. That's the tunnel. I'm going to make another book video, but not of this book, of the books I've read. So bear with me. I know you guys don't like watch my past 3-minute videos. You guys like to watch my under 3 minute. I get it. I get it, okay. But this is my channel. But as he got closer, his nerves tightened. Every shadow seemed alive. Every faint sound echoed louder than it should, and yet he had no choice but continue forward. Has anyone talked to Chubbs since we split up? Zelma stared across the landscape as if she expected Chubbs to jog into view at any moment. Goosebob replied his usual confidence. I'm sure he's probably lost in the new greenhouse. In that new greenhouse he wouldn't stop talking about while we were waiting on the rescue pod. Let me call him. Kadetsky said, pulling out his command device, and he dialed, but the screen flashed no signal. Weird. Shrugging it off, the group figured Chubbs was happily lost in his plant-filled paradise. With everything that had just happened to them, Kadetsky couldn't help but feel a little worried. When anyone was missing, but they were probably right. I'll just go over and see him after this. Guys, he said slowly, the reason I asked you to meet up so soon is because I feel really uneasy about not giving the doomscills to General. I think we should make a plan to try again. No, Wilby shouted. and caught himself when the other team started by his outburst. I mean, I don't think it's a big deal. He tried. He didn't want them. He said I could keep them. I don't know, guys. I have a bad feeling in my gut. Kadetsky muttered, "Me too." Zoma agreed. "You sure you are just hungry?" Wilby seemed obviously to his friends concerned. "My belly makes me super weird noises when I'm feeling snackish. Like blah blah and glub sloop and slurp." Sorry if I butchered that. Kadetsky couldn't help but chuckle. "Well, I could go for a Zolderby right now." "Did you just say Zorby?" Wilby exploded, leaping in the air with excitement as he jumped up. The doomskull tumbled out of his vest pocket and clattered to the floor, glowing eerily in the dim of the light of the Goosebumps workshop. A heavy silence filled the room as everyone stared at the shards. "Are those glowing more than usual?" Kadetsky asked. He shaded his eyes from the weird light. "Yeah," Goosebumps murmured. "Whoa," he stepped closer, then quickly took 3 steps back. "Bury them. We should definitely bury them. Now, okay?" Wilby scrambled to the scoop of the shards. "Guys, everything is fine. Also typically fine. Trust me, these glow rocks are in good hands. My hands, see?" He held his hands right in Kadetsky's face. Kadetsky pushed Wilby's hands away, but looked more confused than before. "He's got a point," Zoma said. "Even if it's hard to follow him to it, we tried to surrender with these things to the general, and he refused. That makes us responsible for them." "Yes," Wilby jumped up and down. Zoma turned to Wilby, "And that's why you need to bury them." Wilby stopped hopping and his mouth opened like he was about to argue. Then he got his usual dreamy expression when he was looking at Zoma. "You can count on me, my love. I can do that if you want." Then glowing the shards lit up his face, his eyes clouded. "But why? Why should we do that?" "I mean, I totally do it. No problemo. But why do that now? Maybe it could wait until later, like tomorrow, maybe next month. I mean, they're just rocks. Guys, come on." "And they glow." "Because there's something off about these rocks." Zelma crossed her arms and wrinkled her nose at Wilby, as if she thought there might be something off about him too. "If we bury them, only we'll know where they are. That way they can never fall into the wrong hands or out of your pockets." But Wilby stammered, clutching the doomskulls to his chest like they were just his most precious, most prized possessions. "She's right," Kadetsky interrupted. "We'll pick a spot to bury them, and that's that." Wilby's shoulder slumped. "Goosebumps, grab a shovel over here. I got a great spot." Goosebumps and get in the shovel. The air damp, musty, and Chubbs chugged forward. His chest felt heavy, making each breath difficult. Lobster's dim flashlight flickered into the darkness. "Surely there's a way out of here, right?" The sound of his own voice strangely comforting in the eerie silence. The tunnel opened into a massive chamber, its size impossible to gauge in the muted glow of the Lobster's light. The walls disappeared in shadow, and the ceiling seemed to stretch endlessly upward. And then click, Chubbs froze, and sounds sharp and deliberately echoed through the chamber. That is chapter 6. I will be reading chapter 7 probably Monday. Have a good one.